The world of Bravo has always been filled with glam, confidence, and larger-than-life personalities. Yet behind the perfect contour and the camera-ready smiles lies a truth many fans never see. And today we're diving into the shocking, emotional, and sometimes heartbreaking transformations some housewives regret more than anything. These aren't just cosmetic tweaks. These are life-changing decisions that shaped careers, relationships, and identities. And the twist? Many of these stars now admit they wish they had never gone under the knife at all. Before we unravel the stories that Bravo didn't want you to overthink, make sure you hit like and subscribe to this channel. It helps more than you know, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's begin with Alexis Bellino from the Real Housewives of Orange County. She once embodied the glamorous OC ideal: big hair, big diamonds, and even bigger confidence. But behind that confidence was a choice she made too young, a breast augmentation that she now wishes she'd never touched. Alexis revealed that she didn't fully understand the long-term commitment of implants. What looked like a simple enhancement turned into a nearly endless cycle of surgeries as issues kept surfacing one after another. According to Bravo's Daily Dish, Alexis didn't just have one corrective procedure. She had multiple surgeries to fix complications that nearly took over her life. Every time she thought she was done, something else went wrong. The glam she chased came with a cost she never expected. Then there's Tamra Judge, another RHOSLC veteran whose story is filled with twists that even fans didn't see coming. Tamra openly struggled with the fear that her implants were making her sick. Random symptoms, unusual fatigue, and a creeping sense that something wasn't right pushed her to make a drastic decision. She removed her implants completely. The relief was real, but the story didn't end there. Because a few years later, Tamra made a U-turn that shocked her followers. She revealed, through People, that she underwent another augmentation. It wasn't about vanity. It was about reclaiming her body on her own terms. Tamra's journey set off debates across the Bravo fandom about health, identity, and the price of beauty. Her decision didn't follow the expected script, and that unexpected twist is what keeps fans glued to her path. But perhaps no revelation hit harder than Rinna's transformation. For years, her signature pout and hyper-glam look defined her image on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But behind the scenes, Lisa reached a breaking point. The fillers she once loved began to distort the way she recognized herself. What started as a small enhancement slowly pulled her further away from the face she felt connected to. Eventually, she decided to dissolve all her fillers. For someone whose brand was built on a specific look, this was more than a cosmetic reversal. It was a personal reset. Lisa admitted that her fillers no longer made her feel like herself. It wasn't about age. It wasn't about Hollywood pressure. It was about identity. And in a world where perfection is currency, choosing natural simplicity was one of the boldest moves she ever made. And then there's the always unfiltered Sonja Morgan from the Real Housewives of New York City. Sonja has never shied away from honesty, even when it paints her in a complicated light. She told Us Weekly that she went too far with liposuction, a confession that shocked fans because Sonja always radiated effortless confidence. But behind the humor and fabulous chaos, she was chasing something deeper. She believed a quick fix would boost her spirit, her confidence, maybe even her career. Instead, she felt she pushed her body too far. It wasn't about regret for the procedure. It was regret for the moment she prioritized perfection over peace. These stories aren't about shaming cosmetic choices. They're about the unseen consequences that reality TV rarely shows. Procedures meant to elevate confidence sometimes unravel into battles these stars never expected. What makes these confessions powerful is not the surgeries themselves, but the vulnerability behind admitting regret on a platform where image is everything. But this is just the beginning, because what comes next reveals even deeper cracks behind the glam. Moments where pressure from fame, fans, and filming pushed some housewives into choices they weren't emotionally ready for. And the next twist? Some of the most dramatic transformations weren't driven by insecurity at all, but by producers, relationships, and shocking behind-the-scenes ultimatums that forced these women into making changes they didn't truly want. The deeper you go into the Bravo universe, the more you realize that cosmetic choices aren't just personal decisions. They're woven into the very machinery of reality TV. And for many housewives, the pressure doesn't start in the mirror. It starts in the flashing lights, the confessionals, the comparisons, and the unspoken expectations that come with being a Bravo-lebrity. What fans see as glamorous transformations are often survival tactics in a world where appearance is currency, and aging is treated like a storyline twist. Behind closed doors, several housewives have admitted that their procedures weren't born from insecurity, but from the suffocating feeling that their relevance depended on staying camera perfect. Producers never say it directly, but the message lingers in every casting decision, every tagline, and every comment made by viewers online. When one woman tweaks her face or body, others feel the ripple effect. What starts as a personal enhancement becomes a silent competition. Alexis Bellino once revealed that comments from viewers, and sometimes even from castmates, fed into her decision to maintain a larger-than-life look. What no one knew was how deeply those offhand comments followed her home. She carried them into dressing rooms, into doctors' offices, and into late-night thoughts that chipped away at her confidence. Every new surgery felt like she was reclaiming control, until the complications spiraled into something she could no longer ignore. Rinna's journey, too, holds a deeper story. For years, her fillers became a meme, a signature, a personality trait built by fans and amplified by Bravo. But very few people ever asked how that felt. When she decided to dissolve everything, it wasn't just a cosmetic decision. It was a break from the role she had been pushed into playing. She stepped away from the exaggerated version of herself the world had grown attached to and returned to a softer, unfamiliar version. And instead of hiding it, she showed the world the change in real time, a move that takes more courage than any enhancement ever could. And then there's Sonja Morgan, whose vulnerability made her confession even more powerful. She admitted she went too far with liposuction because she believed she had to keep up with the younger cast members. The harsher cameras, the unforgiving lighting, the fans dissecting her appearance in every episode frame by frame. Sonja's charm always came from her authenticity, yet she still felt pulled into the comparison trap, proof that even the most confident personalities aren't immune to the pressures of being constantly watched. Tamra Judge's struggle takes this conversation one step further. While many stars face emotional consequences, she faced physical ones. When she believed her implants were making her sick, her decision to remove them wasn't rooted in regret, it was survival. But the twist comes in her return to augmentation. Tamra's openness forces a conversation people rarely have. Sometimes the journey with cosmetic work is not a straight line. Sometimes it's trial and error, reevaluating needs, and reclaiming your body after it's been changed, criticized, medicalized, and spotlighted. Her honesty exposes how layered, messy, and deeply personal these decisions can be. Yet the most compelling part of these stories is how they've changed the Bravo culture as a whole. More housewives are now speaking out, sharing their regrets, their corrections, their reversals. Behind the glam, many admit they didn't fully understand the long-term consequences of what they were agreeing to. The recovery time, the pain, the unexpected reactions, the lifelong maintenance, the way one decision leads to another and then another. And yet, the pressure continues. Because in the Bravo universe, beauty isn't just a preference, it's part of the job. Cast trips, green screen confessionals, reunion shoots, promotional photos, all of it reinforces the illusion that perfection is mandatory. And once you start tweaking, it becomes difficult not to keep going. The audience becomes accustomed to a certain look, and any change, whether natural or intentional, becomes a talking point. But here's the twist most fans don't realize. Some housewives privately admit they didn't want these procedures at all. Some felt nudged by partners who preferred a certain look. Some felt pushed by castmates' comments or producers' subtle suggestions. Others felt overshadowed by newer, younger women joining the franchise. And a few confessed they didn't want to show up on camera next to someone who looked surgically refreshed while they looked too real. What we see on TV is the final product. Glam, makeup, fillers, perfect hair, immaculate outfits. What we don't see is the emotional weight behind those choices. The internal tug-of-war, the regrets whispered off camera, the private appointments that spark unexpected identity crises, the quiet relief when something is reversed. the fear of being judged for admitting the truth. These women aren't just reality stars. They're human stories wrestling with image, expectation, and self-worth in an industry built on the illusion of perfection. And trust me, the next set of stories reveals even more unexpected turns. Because some housewives faced complications so severe, they changed their lives forever, while others revealed that their biggest regrets weren't the procedures, but the reasons behind them.